As long as there's time on the clock and the football is in Josh Allen's hands, the Bills will always have a shot to win the game. Stevie, what was your confidence level entering that last drive?
I was on the 13. I wasn't worried at all. Bills all the way, baby.
I'm with Stevie there. I had confidence in the Bills, always do. On to the next one.
This is Broken Table. Hein, Stevie, Tekeyah, and I had confidence in Josh.
Yes.
But when there was a minute left,
Yeah.
and that's a tricky one. I didn't know. There's been so much debate over what to do of like, do you try to kneel? Do you try to not score? And it's like,
Yeah.
in my mind, I'm like, you just score. But at the same time, I did not love giving the Jags a minute left. My confidence was not fully there in the defense, but the defense delivered, specifically Trey White.
Yeah.
What a play, what a game Trey White has had. What a season Trey White has had. Kind of since those early struggles. What was the most important factor in yesterday's win to you?
There was a stat coming into this game that in Josh Allen's 6 playoff losses, the quarterbacks he had to face combined for 16 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. So you had to be perfect in order to beat Josh Allen and the Bills. And Trevor Lawrence did have, 2 interceptions?
2 interceptions,
So maybe that stat rings true. You have to be perfect to beat them.
Well, speaking of perfect, Josh Allen was perfect once again. And Tekeyah, you and I both love that stat of Josh Allen, first quarterback ever. Well, we got another one. And it was first quarterback in NFL history, 80% completion percentage, 1 pass touchdown, 2 rush touchdowns. Mm-hmm. But to me, what impressed me the most with Josh was the toughness, because he hung in the pocket and he took some shots. A lot of people going in were like, oh, he's going to have to make a lot of off-schedule plays. He's going to have to put the cape on. But when that running game wasn't going, he stayed in the pocket and made just some of the best throws I've ever seen. That throw to Cooks on that last drive was unbelievable. One, for the read for him to make that, but to throw it like that on a rope off his back foot. Stevie, we saw the whole package from Josh yesterday, and it was just unbelievable to watch. And we are blessed to have 17 as the quarterback that we watch all the time.
Hey, dude, yeah, we definitely saw the entire package. I was super excited for what Josh showed the entire game. And when you say blessed, yes, because a few of those plays, it looked like could have been season-ending injuries, whether it be on the throwing hand with his finger, or it looked like he hyperextended his knee.
His knee got rolled up on bad.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I don't even know if he went into the tent for that one, and that one looked the worst. And not to mention coming in on a I guess a semi-injured foot.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah, we definitely blessed to have him. And then he still goes in and get 2 touchdowns, throws for a touchdown, 12 for 12 with one of his pass catches on the outside. I mean, he could have had a perfect game. It seemed like he had one rush pass to Kincaid. That'll be cleaned up. That wasn't nothing bad. And then the miss to Gabe, or unfortunately we lose Gabe. Mm-hmm. But again, tying back that blessing, it's like that was a similar injury with Gabe in Josh. Yeah, Gabe is out, but Josh is still going. So yeah, he's super.
Still no word yet on Gabe Davis, but it does look like his season is over. There's another injury you didn't even mention, when the Jags player landed with all of his body weight on Josh's head, and he had to go into the blue tent for a concussion. Like, kind of a dirty play. Just saying, no flag there.
Yes. Hugely dirty. Honestly, we are blessed for 17. It makes me so nervous, though, because all of the injuries you just mentioned happened in the first half.
Yeah.
His body has been on the line. How much can he take? I don't know. We're going up, like you said, a really good Denver defense.
Yeah.
So,
and before we get into the Denver game, we still got some looking back to do, because here's Josh Allen under pressure yesterday, 9 of 12 for 144. That credit to the Jaguars. All of the respect to the Jaguars. Mm-hmm. They played awesome. Just a great game. I thought whoever won this game was going to the Super Bowl, was coming out of the AFC. I still feel that way. I think it does even get a little easier going to Denver. If we were to look back to week 1, that game against Baltimore, that's almost a microcosm of the season.
Right.
And Josh said it after the game. We are battle tested. Stevie, how much does that early season playing in a game like that, and we've seen it a few times. We saw it in the Bengals game. We saw it in the Patriots game. This team is never out of a game, and they have that belief that it doesn't even matter what the score is. We are in these games, and we saw it manifest itself against the Jags.
Yeah, it plays, everything plays into that, from the beginning of the season, the ups and the downs, considering your team continues to win or find ways to win. Everything in the past it helps your future, and you heard Trey White talk about it early in the season. He was trying to figure things out, his position, where to be, and the confidence, get the mental confidence back. And it developed through time, those tough times and the good times. And that got him to where he is now against the Jaguars, playing press man, pretty much leading the league since week 5, week 6 in completion percentage, going out of press coverage corner. So that's coming off of injuries. And just to think about the entire team, we can talk about Bishop, we can talk about Poyer, we can talk about a lot of people. Shaq Thompson coming in. Remember,
he's been amazing.
He missed an interception against the Falcons. That could have changed that game. Yet he goes out and he gets his first interception in the playoffs. So it's pretty cool what the entire team has done, and that's a hats off to Coach Babbage and McDermott for keeping their minds right.
Let's just focus on Trey real quick, Stevie, because I remember that Dolphins game, and Chezzy was here, and Chezzy was basically we saw Waddle. Anytime they needed a big play, Trey was kind of getting burned in man coverage.
Yeah.
He's older. We know of all the injuries, Achilles, ACL, all that. With what we saw from Trey at the beginning of the year to what he is now, did you think it was possible for him to get back to this level at that age?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I felt like if you're still out there playing and the coaches have you on the roster, especially a starter or in and out and even guarding Waddle, you have skills, you got game. Sometimes it's just a game within a player. And Trey, he's outspoken, and he spoke on that. Even McDermott spoke on it after the game about Trey's confidence. Me, from the outside looking in, I have 100% confidence because you're on that field. But, it's always a Warriors mentality. If you come off of injuries, you get beat a couple times, and you kind of feel like you don't have it anymore. But this was great for him to keep his confidence up.
Okay, let's get into some of the injuries because there's some bad ones. As we mentioned, Gabe Davis likely done for the playoffs. Poyer left the game with a hamstring. We got no update there. If by the time the show's posted, we'll have a nice little graphic here saying what that update is. Ty Johnson didn't play, was in a walking boot. Max Harrison ankle injury, didn't play. We hope he's ready for Sunday.
Yeah.
Terrell Bernard calf injury. Hopefully he's ready for Sunday. Josh Palmer to IR. What does it say about McDermott and this staff that they're able to have so many injuries, and we got practice squad guys Poyer was pretty much we thought he was done and was crucial. What does it say to McDermott and this coaching staff that they're really getting everything from every single roster position and winning big playoff games like this on the road?
Yeah, I don't want to say much about it, but shout out to everybody at One Bills Drive because it's something that they're doing in there that's developing the guys. When we talk specifics, me as a receiver, I want to see certain receivers develop faster. But as a whole team and collective, if you look back on the ups and the downs, the team has stayed focused, and it's because of what the staff, the organization, what they're around, and I think it's definitely helped the team overall.
Okay, let's go. I got a question. I'll tee up you, Tekeyah, first. From what we've seen, an amazing opening weekend. We'll get to that a little later, but one of the best playoff weekends we've ever had for Wildcard Weekend.
Yep.
Are the Bills now the team to beat in the AFC?
Ooh, I think so, yeah. Yeah, they're the team. As long as you have 17, you're the team to beat in the AFC.
Is there anyone, who do you fear the most then?
I would say Patriots.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The defense looked good yesterday, but the offense didn't really look that impressive.
Shocking, but during the regular season, they were pretty scary.
Stevie, what about you? Are the Bills the team to beat in the AFC now?
Yeah, the Bills are the team to beat. The Patriots, since they beat us at our highest level, and then you got to say, if the Houston Texans can get past the Pittsburgh Steelers, which I'm hoping they don't, and then we'll see from there. We'll
get into that Texans game a little later. I agree with both of you, and I know I can just see the comments on YouTube and on Instagram now of course these three Bills homers said the Bills are the team to beat in the AFC, but I think that there's something that everybody's ignoring is this team is battle tested. And as good as Jacksonville was, you almost need to learn to lose in the NFL before you're ready to win. And who's got more experience in learning in tough losses than this Bills team? Yeah. They are battle tested. They've fought adversity all season. They've come from behind in so many games when everyone's looked at it this game's done. And as long as Josh Allen is there, they have a chance. And I think this year more than ever, it is a line for the Bills to make that Super Bowl run.
I mean, they've made it this far with what people are calling so little. So, I mean, to your point, you're right, Hein. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm on the same page with you, brother. All those losses, those road losses, that's why it's a surprise that this was Josh's first road win, in some time. So, we'll see what happens from here. But they definitely got iron. Their iron is sharpened.
Okay, let's look ahead to the Broncos game. And Stevie, we got a former teammate of yours, Eric Wood, joining us. Let's go to that right now. Now joined by former Bills center and teammate of Stevie Johnson and member of the Bills broadcast team, Eric Wood. But Stevie, gotta say, is it a coincidence you're wearing your Kentucky gear when we got a Louisville guy joining us, or what?
Dude, high time. You really go. This one is not even a coincidence like that. I wanted to get something blue, but I didn't want to go all Buffalo Bills, and I saw the Kentucky and.
I feel like you're trolling. I feel like you're trolling, man.
I wasn't trying to do nothing. I wasn't trying to cause no beef.
It's all good. I didn't even notice it until Chris said something. Your dread was covering it up.
See, you always starting something. You always starting something.
All right, Eric, let's start looking ahead to Saturday in the Broncos, and this is one of the best pass rushes in the NFL. How do you feel the Bills O-line will handle this Denver front four?
I mean, this is one of the best offensive lines in the league. I don't know if you saw on the Pat McAfee show, but they voted it the number one offensive line in the NFL. Now, you don't want to simply get in a drop back game, not give them any help, not give them play action, not try to establish the run. But this Broncos defense is legit. I mean, they got 68 sacks on the season. The next closest to them is in the 50s. And so, I mean, they got guys, Nick Bonito leads the way. He's got over 14 sacks, but beyond him, they just do it everywhere. They got all pro at one of their, 5 techniques. He's listed as the DN, but he plays more on the interior, Zach Allen, and they just got a bunch of dudes that can flat out rush the passer. So biggest thing from a former offensive lineman's perspective is don't get in obvious pass situations as often as you can. And then when it is completely obvious, give us a chip on one side so that we can slide the other way. That way, whoever's got the one-on-one where the slide's not going, he gets a little bit of chip help. The rest of us can kind of help each other. And that just takes a lot of pressure off the group and not make them on the road where you're on a silent count have to just win one-on-ones all day.
Now, real quick, just looking at last year's wild card round, now you mentioned it, we agree, this is the best O-line in football. Last year, they put up 471 yards of offense, held the ball for 42 minutes, and Josh Allen was only sacked twice. So how much are you leaning into that last year's game? How much does that matter going into this weekend?
Every year's different. This one's at home. This is a young team with more playoff experience in Denver. I know they only got the one game last year, but shoot, this is the number one overall seed. They're rested. They're going to have fresh legs. Now, sometimes you could say, you get that off week where maybe you're not as crisp at the start. There's a lot of pressure on a young Bo Nix to try and go get his first playoff win. But, this is a really quality Denver team. Now, they're similar to the Chiefs last year where I believe it's 11 one-score games they've won. And I'm not saying they didn't earn those wins, but there's a little bit of luck that comes with winning that many one-score games. So, I got a lot of confidence in the Bills in this one too.
Okay, I have a fun question, Eric. We saw Osiris Torrance basically pick up Josh Allen and bring him to the 1-yard line. As a former O-lineman, how fired up did that make you? It was a massively defining moment in that game.
It was awesome. I mean, the offensive line, in those tush-push situations, they get it done. I mean, the center starts with his hand between his legs. It's hard on him. Usually the guards have to take the pressure off, then the tackles come in. And so to me, impressive there, Osiris Torrance. I mean, that dude, he's listed at 355. I mean, he's huge. He's strong. He's one of those dudes that, Deion's got the flashy personality. Spencer Brown's plays next to him on the edge. He's 6'9". Those guys get a lot of the credit, but Osiris Torrance in the next couple of years is going to get paid. And hopefully we got the cap room for him to Buffalo. But when you started every game of your career, and we don't have to talk about you a whole lot because you're always getting your job done, those dudes get paid a lot of money on the interior now.
That might be the tush-push heard around the world. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, sorry, go ahead, Stevie.
No,
Definitely the tush push heard around the world. I love it. And to think that the Bills voted against the tush push, I think it was mind games, to be honest. But hey, Captain Wood, I wanted to say this. You're play-by-play, so you see every play that's going on, and that's the offense, the defense, and the special teams. And this past victory, which which play or which side of the ball stood out to you most?
I'll give you two of my favorite plays of the game. One was the shot play to Brandon Cooks down the field to set up the game-winning score. Bills are in an empty set, and so Jacksonville decides, all right, we're going to mess with him. We don't have a running back in the game, so he motions Khalil Shakir back into the backfield on the right-hand side. That means that Jacksonville is going to trigger off the left. It's probably a read-it type of pressure where wherever the slide goes or wherever you bring a protector, we're going to go the other way. Josh has got a free runner coming at him, reads the coverage perfectly. I thought he was honestly thrown away. Like, I'm going to chuck this ball down the field, over Brandon Cook's head, but we'll live to fight another day. Instead, he goes for the whole shot there. And to me, that play just summarizes Josh Allen. And, after the game, he said, shoot or shoot. And, there's some plays where there's some plays where you're like, dang, Josh, like, get down on the ground, protect yourself, or why'd you try and fit that ball in there? But I like my man 17, and I love his philosophy. Hey, shoot or shoot in these moments. And then, to me, the final play on defense where Tre'Davious tips that ball up in the air, what I love the most about it is you got to watch it back and watch his reaction when he tips it. So he intentionally tips that ball up. He's not going to swat it down. He knows in zone defense there should be someone behind him. So he pops that ball up in the air. He's turned around looking, and he's celebrating before Cole Bishop even touches the football. Like, that is a veteran play. And Tre'Davious White playing press man after the Achilles, after the ACL. We got him playing press man out there at the end of the game, not subbing with Max Hairston. He's hurt. Your UK boy was hurt this game. Tre'Davious White comes up with 3 pass breakups, but that one was sweet with the pop up in the air, and he turns immediately. It was awesome.
Go Tigers. Go Tigers. That's SEC family, though. It's all good.
That was honestly
now Wildcat family. I mean, Buffalo Bills family.
That was
no doubt.
That was an unreal game from Trey White. And but looking at the numbers, this is since week 6, has allowed a 43.2 passer rating, second fewest in the NHL, second lowest in the NFL, and a 32.1 complete percentage, which is lowest since week 6. He's been locked down, but I want to focus on what you were saying about that Allen throw, because I think down and distance is so important too, because both the corner and safety are expecting that ball to go to the flat, and then he just fires that on a rope, back foot 40 yards. And as a lineman, when you see him take the shot like that to make that throw, and the shots he took all game, like the toughness of him, is there a tougher quarterback you've ever seen in the NFL?
I mean, I don't think so. Our man Ryan Fitzpatrick was pretty tough, but Josh Allen's just, I watch him every single week, and it never ceases to amaze me how he's willing to put his body on the line. Again, sometimes I'm like, dude, get down. You're the franchise. Like, you're the most valuable asset in this organization. Protect yourself. But, he doesn't need to earn any more respect in the locker room. He earned that a long, long time ago. He earned that his rookie year with the way he played and was willing to put his body out there and not take credit, deflect all the attention. Dude doesn't even post on social media after the game, except for he posts the drooling emoji of his wife at the Golden Globes.
I saw that.
Nothing about his play. The Bills, I'm posting on my story the action shot of Josh, flexing. He don't post any of that. And that's my guy. I love that dude to death. As an offensive lineman, yes, you get that respect from him. You give him that respect, but he earned that a long time ago.
Okay, well, we'll get you out of here on this one. Buffalo couldn't really get James Cook going against Jacksonville. Are understandable, like the best run defense in the NFL. Denver's the number 2 run defense in the NFL. How do they get that run game going Saturday against the Broncos?
You try and establish it, but again, you don't want to beat your head into the wall. This isn't a hold something back or, hey, let's not get pass happy. We got to protect Josh, this and that. We don't want to put ourselves in bad situations. You got to try and establish the run, and hopefully we can pop a couple. Jacksonville tackled extremely well. There was a couple I thought James Cook could have broke loose, and first guy to the ball got him on the ground. And so, to me, you go in there this week, you find a plan, you try to attack some weaknesses. I'll be honest, this early in the week, I don't know what those weaknesses are right now. But you try to attack some weaknesses, and then you get quick to the play action game. And I thought yesterday we only had 1 negative yardage run. So even when we weren't getting a bunch, it's 2, 3, 4, where you at least stay on schedule and you keep that Jacksonville defense honest. And part of the reason you throw for over 270 yards is because you were willing to at least stick with trying to establish the ground game.
All right. Thank you so much, Eric. Appreciate the time as always. Stevie, any final words for your teammate?
Man, one love, Captain, and love hearing your analysis.
No, I appreciate it. All love, brother.
Okay, thanks to Eric Wood. Stevie, your former teammate, that he brought it. Eric, love that. Eric Wood, welcome on the show anytime. But let's transition to the rest of the league because we talked about it. One of the most fun wildcard weekends I can remember. Listen to this. This stat's insane. We had 12 lead changes in the fourth quarter. That was just in the first 3 games. That is the most in a single postseason. We still got a whole bunch of games left, and they've already set the record. The first 3 games, the teams trailing at the 2-minute warning went on to win the game. So I don't know if we can I think you can call both. I think you can say some of that was just great football being played, and some of that was some bad chokes. So we're going to name our biggest disappointment. So Stevie, let's start with you. Who was your biggest disappointment of wildcard weekend?
It's got to be the Philadelphia Eagles.
Your Eagles, your Birds.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, everybody know I had the Birds going to the Super Bowl. You got to if you want to be the best, you got to beat the best. And why I say it's my biggest disappointment is because they actually rested their players at the end of the season to get the San Francisco 49ers. And then go in there and still lose at home to the 49ers. So that's got to be a huge disappointment. And then the way they lost, I don't even want to bring it up as a receiver. That's disappointing.
Well, but also, too, a depleted Niners team who was already super hurt, who then lost George Kittle, and your guy, A.J. Brown, who's been so vocal, who went out of Sirianni, hands on the ball, dropping that. Like, that's tough. For me, biggest disappointment has to be the Packers. Listen to this stat. Offensive plays run with the lead in the 3 Bears-Packers games this season. Packers, 106. Bears, 0. Like that Stevie's face says it all. And I got one more. The Bears are 3-3 when down 10 points on the final 5 minutes of the fourth quarter this season. The rest of the NFL is 3-158. As good as the Packers were, Matt LaFleur kind of melted down in that second half. And I don't know how to explain it. I saw some people, there was a little conversation online about how these guys from the Shanahan tree, Shanahan, McVay, LaFleur, they're so focused on play calling that they almost lose sight of the game management side of things. But my disappointment has to be the Packers because you cannot lose that game to a division rival like that. And I know the Packers season ended when Micah Parsons went down, but you gotta go and beat your division rival in that situation when you're up that big at halftime.
Right. I'm with both of you. Stevie, I was thinking about the Eagles as well because A.J. Brown has been yapping all season long. Drama. And you could not
drama that game with Sirianni.
I saw that. And you still went out after that and continued to drop the balls. Yeah. But I will say biggest disappointment, Packers. They were up 18.
Yeah, 21-3.
Holy moly. And then the Bears come in and win it. Packers were Super Bowl contenders until Micah went out. And then what will you blow that massive lead? Is LaFleur getting fired?
No, so the early, it seems like the Packers fan base wants that, but the early rumors today is that because he's going into the last year of his contract, is that they're going to extend him. Now, there was a report on Saturday, a little bit about the connection with the Packers organization and John Harbaugh.
Right.
Now, I still think LaFleur is a good coach. I think it would be stupid to fire him. But Harbaugh being available kind of clouds the picture a little bit. Stevie, I saw your eyes sort of lit up a bit when I was talking about those play callers not being able to manage a game. How, did Chan Gailey call plays with you guys, or was he more head coaching responsibilities and you had your OC calling plays back then?
Yeah, see, the tricky part of it is it's a team. It's teamwork. So Chan Gailey, he called every call. However, Fitzpatrick, he would know how to adjust from being a hybrid guy to being that robotic quarterback who listens to everything that the coach says, and then be able to get into a game and be like, all right, I'm gonna get it to Freddie, or I'm gonna get it to Scott Chandler or whatnot, or I'm gonna hit it Stevie. So you it's a mix. So Jordan Love, like Matt LaFleur, like you're saying, Matt LaFleur he's calling a great game. But he's so locked in on calling the game, you still need that quarterback. And that's where Love got to come in and not just be the highlight quarterback. You got to be a game manager also. And that's why it baffles me when people use that game manager as a bad term for quarterbacks. They usually win games. But if you have a dual threat like a Josh Allen, he's an elite playmaker, now he knows how to manage games within still being a playmaker. That's like a demigod right there, So It takes two. It takes two to tango. And I think if they do keep Coach LaFleur, that is because they still want to develop that Jordan Love chemistry. They know it's not all on Coach.
And I honestly think like when Micah went down, they were kind of in control of what the NFC could have gotten the 1 seed, could have won the division, and then they haven't won since Micah went down. That just shows how important.
They lose Kraft too.
Yeah, he was potentially going to be an All-Pro.
Mm-hmm. So
tough injuries now. As much fun as we've had with Wildcard Weekend, it's not over yet. So let's take it to the streets as we're doing Street or Same Game Parlay for Steelers Texans. How do you feel about Aaron Rodgers as a person?
I've heard bad things.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of bad things. Oh, see, look at that, great hands. Thank you so much. The throw needs a lot of work though. I'm throwing it. Turn. Oh, I'm so sorry. Dude, I did not mean to hit you. One-handed catch? Oh, on the road. Oh no. Wildcard Weekend's not over yet. We are on the streets of Toronto to do a little same game parlay on FanDuel for Texans Steelers. Monday Night Football tonight. Yeah. We're going to make a little same game parlay on FanDuel. Texans and Steelers. Who is your team?
Chicago Bears.
Okay, why are you a Bears fan?
First game I ever watched was the Super Bowl when they played the Colts. Hester caught it, returned it for a touchdown.
First play of the game.
Yeah, so and then it's been terrible since. I was down in Philly for the double. I was in Chicago against Philly for the double doink game as well.
So you've experienced some heartache.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's go. Two teams tonight. Last game of Wildcard Weekend. Texans Steelers. Let's start with the game. Who do you think wins?
Texans.
Okay, you like the Texans. Why is that? Just Steelers are frauds? Hatred of Aaron Rodgers, maybe?
Yeah, I hate Aaron Rodgers as well, but I just think Texans all around are a better team.
Okay.
Much better defense.
Well, yeah, one of the best defenses in the league. Is there anything on this that jumps out at you for our little same game parlay?
Texans are going to win, so I don't know if Stroud will have to throw all game. Steelers are going to be behind, so they've been thrown garbage time. Metcalf over yards.
So I'll give you a little stat about Metcalf. DK Metcalf's 4 playoff games. He has hit over 56.5 in every playoff game he's ever played. Plus, coming off that suspension, he's fresh.
Yeah. Okay. He needs to make it up to his team.
Let's get one more leg on there.
My hatred towards Rodgers wants him to throw an interception, but
it's a great Texans defense, and the pass rush is going to be all over him.
Yeah, I'd take the over.
Okay, let's go with.
It's very low. 38 is very low.
Low total, so we got over 30.5. We got Texans to win, and we got in garbage time. Hopefully, DK Metcalf going over. Thank you so much for your time. Appreciate it.
No worries.
Bike guy, you want to make a catch? No? Come on, you can do it. One-handed catch with the coffee. Woo! Oh! So we're looking at tonight's game, Texans and Steelers. So let's start with the game. Who's winning the game, Pittsburgh or Houston?
I feel like Houston.
How do you feel about Aaron Rodgers as a person?
I've heard bad things.
Oh, yeah, there's a lot of bad things.
His name gets dragged. I don't know why, but.
Hey, let's look at Aaron Rodgers. What about his pass yards? Over 204.5? If he's trying to prove
is that a lot?
It's kind of is.
I'm going to say no. I think, yeah. No.
Under? Okay, and then let's just go touchdown passes, 1.5, which is about average. Over or under?
Over.
Okay, so we're going
in the playoffs, he's got to pick up the pace, you know?
Love to hear it. Thank you so much. Wait, how you feeling about your Bears rest of the season?
I would have liked Philly to win yesterday because Hurt's arm is trash compared to Stafford's, but yeah, we'll see. Stafford isn't good in the cold, but Nakua's going to have a day.
The guy filming is a Packers fan. You got anything for him?
Yeah, I've seen his hat. Yeah, that's why I'm not talking to him.
Okay, as always, the streets are fired up for the final game of Wildcard Weekend, but we're going to do a little your way parlay. And Tekeyah, why don't you lead off on this one?
Okay, if you know me, you know I love my rushing quarterback stats. I'm going to go with CJ Stroud to rush for over 12.5 yards. We've seen in this playoffs, quarterbacks taking off. In the playoffs in general, I feel like quarterbacks have to tuck it and run, make those plays. And in last year's playoffs, in both games, he had 40 identical stat lines, 42 rushing yards in each game.
For a guy who's not really looked at as a mobile guy. Yeah?
And in the last 5 games, he hasn't really been.
But you said it in playoffs. That's what these guys need to run to make the extra play.
So I think he can go for at least 13 yards. That's my best bet.
So the best part about us taping the show is that it doesn't go out for a couple hours. So I got time to go and smash that before once the people see that Tekeyah has bet it, the line you're gonna be losing those moving those lines. Okay, for mine, I'm gonna go with DK Metcalf, and I got some good numbers for you. DK Metcalf has played 4 career playoff games. Here are the yard totals: 160, 59, 96, 136. His line tonight is in the mid-50s. This guy's clearly a playoff player, but more importantly, he is fresh. He got the last 2 games off and wasn't hurt. So Stevie, how much does that help him coming in fresh, just knowing you got kind of 2 weeks off because of the suspension and you're coming in when everybody's body sore, a little more fresh. So I'm going to put him just to get 50 yards on your way. But how important is that to be fresh coming into this game?
I mean, he's ultra motivated. And when you saying fresh, that's ideal. If you get 2 games off, it's usually because of some type of injury or something. But this was coming from something that happened off the field. He got his money taken away from the league. So now he's not injured, but he's motivated. And then you have Aaron Rodgers coming in. I mean, he's still proving people wrong. So I think the tide is high. I'm definitely hoping for DK Metcalf to go off. And I'm hoping Tekeyah's wrong. This is only from me, not from a betting perspective. This is from me because personally, I want to have Aaron Rodgers get 225 yards and beat the Houston Texans because I don't want the Buffalo Bills to have to travel to Houston.
Okay, so that's a tasty little your way parlay. I love this. And yeah, go to FanDuel and bet it. And speaking of FanDuel, wake up to FanDuel's new month-long celebration, kicking off the year with NFL playoffs.
January.
There you go, January. Super Bowl and fan favorite pop culture novelty bets. They had some Golden Globe bets yesterday. If you wanted to do the Josh Haley parlay. Also, we got some Grammy and Super Bowl crossovers parlays. And Tekeyah, you're even mentioned in this. Oh. You're mentioned with your Super Bowl novelty parlay. So you're one of the faces of Fanuary. So
coming up.
That's it for us today. We will be back Monday. So yeah, Bills Broncos is on Saturday. We're going to wait for the Sunday games to happen. Come back at you on Monday. Stevie, play us out.
Hey, world. Thanks for your time. Hey, if you're in Canada, check out Believe.ca, BILLIEVE.ca, and you can win a trip to the playoffs. Make sure y'all check it out. One love from the Broken Table Podcast. Go Bills for life.